Welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Ava Gaudet here on Go Local Live, and my next guest is so very special to me personally. She is the owner and director of the Carolyn Dutra Dance Studio, just voted Rhode Island's best dance school, and has been helping shape the lives of little dancers throughout our community for over 40 years. I'm so happy to introduce Miss Carolyn Dutra. Come on out. Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
This is very, very special to me because I myself was a Carolyn Dutra dancer, 15 years in the studio. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience for me. So no surprise at all to me why you won Best Dance School 2017. So great. Tell us a little bit about the Carolyn Dutra philosophy and what kind of sets you apart from other schools.
Well, first of all, I like to think that every dance school has their own philosophy and that students and parents find what fits for them. My school is based on dance tradition with an edge, and because I really feel that the foundation of dance, the tradition of true dance, is really the basis of all dance and really important. So therefore, we have the Vaganova and the French ballet in our school, the methodology of ballet. And then the real true jazz, the Broadway jazz and the African jazz and all that. And tap dancing, which is really a basic of all dancers. And then, now with the edge is the contemporary dancing, the So You Think You Can Dance. But the best contemporary dancers are ballet based with good modern and jazz and ballet and all that. So, and the other thing that's really important to me is that children have good manners and respect each other and are kind. And so I also teach those things in the school as well. And to give back to the community through the arts. And by that, I always feel like the USO, and that's still here today in this day and age, and I wish I had been a part of that actually. But when the theater used to go abroad, and some of our top stars still do, to entertain the troops abroad and here in the United States too, that are representing America to help make us safe. So that's my philosophy in dance. And
yeah, I think I can say as a former Carolyn Dutra dancer that there were a lot of other things that I learned besides just kind of how to be a professional dancer, which is a great skill to have if you are someone who may want to go into this profession. But there were so many other skills, the discipline, the professionalism, manners, how to be a lady, how to be a professional woman. I mean, I think all of those things were really important to us as students, and I think that's something that is special that you offer. And in fact, you have a lot of, your basic classes of ballet, tap, jazz, but you offer some other things too. Like you have a manners and modeling class, which I think is so great. Tell us about this class.
Well, I was kind of a different child when I grew up, set apart from the others, but I didn't mind. I always was interested in clothing and modeling and dance, and my mother knew that, and I come from a very humble beginning, and I like to say that to people because now that I'm older, I look back and I really like that I come from that background. But I'm leading up to my mother really getting her pennies together, and so she sent me to modeling school. And our modeling school at that time in Rhode Island was The Weather Girl on television, and her name, people of my age and older will remember her, Bunny North. How many of you out there know Bunny North?
Comment if you remember Bunny.
Yes, she was amazing. So I took a modeling course in manners with Bunny North, and through that, I was only 16. I got hand modeling for gigs back then, and they wanted me to do other type of things back then, but I just wouldn't do that kind of modeling. Not yet, anyway. And so that piqued my interest further, and then I went into pageants, and I won a few pageants and all. And so that with the dancing really led to when I had my studio, and I mean, when I have my studio, I teach manners, and children love learning how to shake hands properly and eye contact, and they love learning how to set a table and how to eat. I actually had like one of my teachers out at a wedding one time, and she was under the, oh, that wasn't good manners, but under the table texting me about, thank you, Miss Carolyn, for teaching me how to cut a piece of meat properly. And but I mean, it's okay if you don't know how to do that, but you can, you know, give us a call.
You can take the class at Carolyn Dutra Dance Studio.
The children love going home and saying to Mom and Dad, Mom and Dad, did you know that when someone asks for the salt, that you need to pass the salt and pepper together?
I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. And that there's American and European way of doing things. And in America, we blend everything. You know, ballet, we blend the Bagan with the French. And so why wouldn't we blend manners? So it makes it difficult. But and the kids love to learn how to walk. And
it's interview skills and public speaking skills. And I think all of these things, it just instills confidence in girls. It's a very positive thing. It's sort of like an old school concept, but I think it's a really positive thing, and it really goes along with your mission and your sort of, you know, what you learn at your dance school. I mean, all my girls out there watching right now, I put a little message on the alumni page. We all understand what it was like to be a Carolyn Dutra dancer, learning all those skills. But one of the things that is special that you offer too is because you yourself were a professional dancer in New York, you were a Radio City Music Hall Rockette, and you know all of the professional systems for rehearsals and auditions, and these are things that if your students want to move on to do this, they know these skills.
Yes.
Why is that important to you to continue to run your school in a professional way?
Well, I think the standards of the theater cross over into everyday life, and also the expectations. And I'm really, big on expectations, because when you go into the real world, so to speak, because a lot of people think that theater isn't the real world, and it isn't, but it really is, because we're putting something over on you, because if you get what I mean, right? And so like there are expectations in your job, in your family, and so in the studio there are directions of the stage, you're a team, there are the musicians in the pit, there are the techies whom we totally learn to respect, and without them and the janitors and everyone else, that makes the whole theater work. And so I teach the children to respect everybody and all those other life lessons in the theater that we learned. I have a big, I think it's really important that the children in our society learn whatever field it is that they go into the arts, that they get the opportunity to be exposed to it. And so that's part of what I do.
Absolutely. There's another really great class that you recently started. It's called Rhythm Works. And tell us a little bit about this, sort of an inclusive adaptive dance class. Why did you develop this, and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I was 13 when I started working with I was young, but young people. I would go to, back then there was a college called Barrington College. Again, you know, when you get older, you've experienced a lot of things that are no longer around. And I would go and I was a counselor for Down syndrome children. So that piqued my interest my whole life, working with people of diverse capabilities. And so myself and two of my teachers, because I give personal development to my teachers, and we went to Boston and we went on a workshop at we were certified to work with children that have these different diverse capabilities. And so Krista Mitchell and Juliet DeRojar and myself, we teach children that have diverse backgrounds and capabilities, and it's so rewarding to see their faces and their parents' faces. And so we've worked with autistic children and Down syndrome children and all kinds, and it's really rewarding, and it's a place for them to be happy and fulfilled. So we're really hoping to get that more off the ground.
Yeah.
So that's what that RhythmWorks program is.
That sounds
And
really
we're very
good.
willing to go into their schools as
Mhm.
well, or wherever it is that they are. So they're welcome to come.
That's really cool. I love that that whole concept. So after all these years, Miss Carolyn, of owning your school and being a teacher and a mentor to so many young people, are there any sort of things that stand out in your mind that were like, this is why I do this? You know, these people making a difference in the world, or, you know, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I know that might be a difficult question to answer, because you've really affected the lives of so many students over the years.
What really, I don't look for anything in return, but what really moves me is when I get a card that's unexpected from someone that I haven't seen in a long time, or now an email or a text message. And that's really what it's all about. And I'm really moved now when I see former dancers bring their children to the studio, and the joy, you know, in their faces. So that's really what's moved me. But I was thinking this morning about, and I don't mean to go back to the RhythmWorks thing, but we had a young girl that started, she had autism. And you know, there's a spectrum on that. So she was a little more higher on the end. But she came to my studio as a 5-year-old, and she had been adopted from Romania. And she had autism, the parents told us right off. But she was able to stay mainstream. And she actually, this last year, graduated from the studio, and she's now in college. And I just want to encourage parents that, you know, anyone can do it, you know. So that was extremely rewarding to me. So that was a highlight.
Well, like I said, you have made you're a very special person to me. You've made a huge difference in my life. I'm so happy to be able to have this platform to let even more people know about your school. It's now fall. Are we kind of late for fall enrollment? Is there still time? Can people get involved?
Well, thanks, Ava.
You're welcome.
Well, things have changed. Things always change and evolve. And so you can really enroll all year now, because
cool.
we gear it to that. But the 2 top times of the year to enroll are now, and then after the soccer thing is over, and then in January.
Okay.
And but what we have coming up in December is we have a biannual nutcracker, and you know, we're a dance studio and we have a ballet company, but recreational and families don't always get. If we had the nutcracker every year, your daughter would be a mouse for a few years, you know. And they're
Yes.
like, oh, we got to see her be a mouse again. But so we have a nutcracker every other year, and then we have a happy holiday family-friendly show where the children, when they're done, can actually sit on your lap. And so then January comes, and then we have enrollment start up again. And then, of course, we have the summer program as well.
Right.
But I did want to tell you what's really a lot of fun, too, is my daughter, actually, Blair Victoria, she works for me, and she's certified to teach adult yoga, but children's yoga, because I'm all about the kids. And it's so much fun, like with puppets and all kinds of props.
What's the age range of the kids?
She starts them at 3.
Oh, okay.
So, and they do all kinds of like play yoga, because it's not, but she tells me that they want to, when Miss Blair, when are we going to have quiet time? Like, and the mother was astounded that, you know, her child would say that, because
Yeah, right. Most kids like love
but
loud.
you know, school is so stressful now, and I just
Yeah.
heard on the news that in Rhode Island, last night's news, that it's really overly stressful, which I've already felt it was, but that's not my topic, folks.
Topic for another time.
Yes, you can get someone else in here for that.
Well, Miss Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. CarolynDutraDanceStudio.com, .org. Wait, I wrote it down. .com. I was right the first time. CarolynDutraDanceStudio.com. I want to make sure I'm sending people to the right place. You can find out all the information about the classes that you offer, how to enroll. Thank you again.